What's up, everybody? This is Jackhammer2711 coming at you today with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Masters of the Universe Classics holiday item, which came to us in the month of December in the form of Gwildor, the heroic creator of the Cosmic Key. Now, Gwildor is kind of a controversial character, but we'll talk a little bit about that once I get him out of the packaging. Taking a look at him in his packaging, he does come in the much bigger Masters of the Universe Classics packaging as compared to the standard figures. This is kind of what we had seen, like Queen Marlena, Orko, things of that nature packaged in. It's a little bit bigger. Which, whenever you say Gwildor, that doesn't make much sense because he's so small, but he does compact with a really, really cool accessory. I'm just taking a look at the packaging. You see your Masters of the Universe Classics logo here at the top. Take a little bit closer look at Gwildor there in the packaging. You see the figure here with his accessories, the Cosmic Key that we've seen, a little bit of a redeco of it from what we had with the Preternia Disguised He-Man. He's got his staff, and down in the bottom, that's the reason this packaging was so much bigger. He's got a prototype Cosmic Key, which is more like a movie accurate version, what we saw in the Masters of the Universe Classics live action feature film. So that's pretty cool. See there, it says includes prototype Cosmic Key. Of course, you have the figure's name, Gwildor, here. Taking a look at the back of the packaging, of course, there at the top, you do have your Masters of the Universe Classics logo up there. As well as some of the figures who were included thus far in the line. You have the Mighty Spector. You have King He-Man right here. Kind of hard to picture him because its packaging is so big. The Goddess right here. Gwildor, who we have in hand. The Horde Troopers. You have Clamp Champ and Horde Prime there at the top. And there you can see Gwildor's bio. If you guys want to read that, feel free to pause it and read it. I'm not going to read it for you. Pictured here, that is the picture of Gwildor from the cross-sell art on the original packaging. As you can tell, this to this is a big drastic change, and I think it's a change for the better. Of course, on the bottom of the packaging, Mattel Collector, where collectors are king and collect them all, along with the Mattel legal mumbo jumbo on the bottom. Anyway, let's get Gwildor busted out of his plastic prison and see just exactly what he's working with. All right, everybody, we've got Gwildor here out of the packaging. Just talking a little bit about this character. Gwildor was a character who appeared in the original 1987, I think it was, live-action Masters of the Universe Masters of the Universe live-action film. I always looked at him as basically like a substitute for Orko, since Orko would have been a little bit hard to pull off in a good way with the special effects of the time. So I always kind of looked at him as Orko light, but I enjoyed him in the film as a kid. He's one of those characters that people look at and he's kind of like almost the Jar Jar Binks of the Masters of the Universe Classics world. People look at him as kind of a useless character, but I mean, for the function that he served in the movie, he did move the plot forward. You know, the Cosmic Key that he was the creator of was a major plot device in the movie, and when it came time for him to get his own action figure, it was just very lacking because of sculpting standards at the time. I mean, you saw that picture on the back of the packaging I showed you. That was basically a pretty good rendition of what Gwildor was before. So a lot of people weren't really sure what to expect whenever we got Gwildor in the Masters of the Universe Classics line. I have to say, I'm very impressed with the figure. What I am not impressed with, however, was the fact that this right here cost, I think it was $35. Come on, Mattel, really? Really? I mean, I get it. Yeah, you got this cool big Cosmic Key that's more in scale with whatever, or it's a little bit actually bigger, but it's more movie accurate. And then you got this Cosmic Key that we had gotten with Preternia He-Man. It does all the same things. It spins right there, and it's got the handle. It's more based of the classic toy accessory. It's nice though. I mean, you got your red paint up here, and you know your gray metallic paint down here with your black washes and silver dry brushing on it to bring out the details. But we've seen it before. You know, just taking a look at the Cosmic Key itself, it's really nice. Like I said, some of that good dry brush detail on there to bring out the sculpt. It looks really nice. You've got gold metallic paint here and here at the bottom. Some more of that nice dry brushing and metallic paint here. Some really good paint detail. You know, you got some little gold studs right there at the top. Some nice red details up there, and it does articulate. It does spin around right there. Really, it's nice. Don't get me wrong, it's nice. It's really cool. And then you've got this. It's just sculpted on like that sling that you kind of sling it over your shoulder to carry it around. But it's just part of the sculpt there. Doesn't move. It's nice. It's really, really cool. But that doesn't make up for the fact that the main selling point for this figure is this. Now, don't get me wrong. This is a great representation of Gwildor for Masters of the Universe Classics. It's actually kind of perfect in my opinion. Tons of sculpting detail, tons of painted detail, a definite improvement over the previous Gwildor figure that we got with the original line. That figure was so bad I didn't even want it as a kid. But $35? Really? I'm just not buying that part. You know, I think they could have done better than that. Be that as it may, we do get Gwildor finally. We get to see how they execute him, how they do him. And man, did they do a great job on this guy. That likeness, that head sculpt, that's what he looked like in the movie. This basically looks like someone took Billy Barty off of a television screen, shrunk that down into action figure size, and then painted it to look like an action figure. That looks just like Billy Barty did in the movie. And I know what you're saying. You're wondering, well, how could they sculpt this whenever they don't have likeness rights to the movie? Well, this isn't technically Billy Barty's likeness. This is a likeness of the makeup that Billy Barty was wearing. So I guess that's a loophole that they were able to get through. And I'm glad they did because it looks fantastic. You can see the painted detail, the modeled skin tone that he's got there. Just a great look at the nose on that guy. I mean, he's got a prominent proboscis for sure. But he's got his little ears popping out the top of his hair up there. The hair sculpt and the beard sculpt is just amazing on this guy. I mean, just look at this. Just going 360 degrees looking at this hair sculpt. The paint job is awesome. It's looks like it's maybe cast in an orangish plastic or whatever. It's painted orange though. It's painted orange, and then on top of that orange, it's got like a brownish wash on top of it to really bring out the sculpting detail. I don't think the camera's really picking up that wash as good as I'd like it to, because it is fantastic. It almost makes his hair look kind of dingy and dirty. And let's face it, that's the way he looked in the movie. He looked kind of dingy and just dirty, but at the same time with some elegance to his costume. But just that head sculpt is just fantastic. It looks really great. You know, looking at his little accessory here, he does have the staff that he carried in the movie. It just looks fantastic. It's got that crystal on the top of it there. It's painted in a white plastic, painted white paint rather. Some nice sculpting detail here on it. It's got a little paint detail with a little brown paint right there. Maybe you can see that there. It's painted here at the top in almost like a gunmetal gray. A little bit more brown painted detail on this piece right here, but just the sculpting detail on it is fantastic. And then you get down to the staff itself, and it's washed with brown or dry brushed with brown on top of this gunmetal up here, so it really gives it a worn woody look. It just looks great. And then there on the middle of the staff, you can see there's some sculpted details, some wrappings where his hand would hold it at right here, and then a little button on the staff right there. I'm not sure, I can't remember if he pressed that button in the movie if it accomplished anything, but you know, Gwildor's walking staff, it looks really good. It fits nicely in his hand, as does the Cosmic Key. Taking a closer look at the rest of the action figure, his costume detail is very nice. I mean, just look at all this sculpting detail on the tunic here on the front. Just going down the front of it. He's got some painted detail here with these little gold chains hanging in the front. And some more painted detail with his his belt and his sash across the chest right there. But the sculpt work of this is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It continues on to the side of his coat right here with that sculpted detail along the side there, as well as on this side right here as well. You can look, he's got like these little pockets on his coat, and he's got like these little things just kind of spilling out of his pockets here and there with some gold paint detail here, a little bit of gold paint detail there again. Again, that nice sculpting detail around the edge of the sleeve of the jacket right there with the gold paint trim right there. And then down here with his little shirt, he's got that red paint detail and a little bit of silver paint detail on top of it. And then of course it goes into the red and the golds up here. More sculpting detail right there on the shoulder piece of his jacket. Just really, really nice. That carries over to both sides of the figure, as you can see there. Got some nice sculpting detail across the back of his jacket as well right here. Some nice painted details here again with the gold paint coming down the sides here, and then buttons, and just all this painted detail and sculpted detail is really, really quite wonderful here. The underneath of the figure, see if we can get under there, you can just kind of see, it's just kind of standard and boring, but he does kind of have like a matte finish on the paint to his pants, and like a more shiny finish on the black of his boots, and the sculpting detail on the boots is actually really nice as well there, as you can see. He's a really nice figure, really nice representation, great execution on this figure. It's just I question the need to have actually charged $35 for this, along with this, and then these two things. I just don't see that. But hey, it is what it is. And we did get Gwildor, and not only did we get Gwildor, we got a great representation of him. Personally speaking, I'm happy to have him in my collection. I think he looks great. I think he fits in nicely with the other figures. And you know, Gwildor's kind of one of those characters, there's not too many people who are in the middle on him. Either you love the character or you hate the character. I personally, I love the character from the movie, hated the original toy, but this kind of brings the toy world and the movie world together. I'm actually, call me crazy, I was a fan of the original movie. I actually liked it as a kid, and it's kind of a guilty pleasure that I still have to this day. If I see it on TV, I'm going to watch it. I can't help it. Sue me if you want to. Sue me for what? But anyway, taking a look at this guy's articulation, his head does go side to side about that far. Of course, the sculpt of the beard and the hair is going to hinder the articulation somewhat, but he will get some side to side motion there. The head moves about this far forward. He can look down a little bit. Can't really look up. It isn't really any backwards motion that allows him to look up, which is unfortunate. He's such a short character, he would naturally be looking up at anyone anyway. But you know, you're not going to be able to get him looking up too much there. Head is removable, but the armor cloak piece is not. So I mean, but if you want to put Gwildor's head on He-Man's body and see what it would be like if Gwildor was a big, buff, tough guy, you can do that. Or what it would look like if He-Man was a little person, you could do that as well. Hey, whatever you want. It's your world. I'm just living in it. The arms do go forward and back. You probably could get them all the way around with the articulation that's there, except for this shoulder piece on the jacket. It doesn't allow for that, but they would go all the way around if that's not there. A nice, good articulation piece. They go out about that far and then back in. He does have a single point elbow on both sides, which allow his elbow to bend about that far up and then back down. The elbow joint does also rotate all the way around right there, and he also does rotate at the wrist 360 degrees on both sides. He does have, you kind of have to get in there and hold his feet, but he does twist at the waist. He does have a waist twist. The legs do go forward about that far. See there, pretty good articulation right there. And they go back. You can't really see. Go back about that far until they hit this piece back here. No in and out on the legs on the inside. They don't go in and out. That's just movement of the plastic. That's not an actual articulation right there. But the boots here at the knee, they do go all the way around like so. And then he does have ankle pivot up and down like that, and then just a little tiny bit of an ankle rocker, but that's it. But Gwildor, he's nice, guys. Unfortunate that he was the holiday item and that he cost so much, but for what this figure is, the purpose he serves, this is quite actually almost a perfect Gwildor action figure. He was the holiday item in 2014, available in the month of December, and was available on the website as well on day of sale. But you got him with your subscription this year. The holiday item did come with the subscription. But anyway, guys, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, $35, a little bit excessive for this, but it's still nice. Still really, really excited and pumped to have this guy as part of my collection. Anyways, this has been Jackhammer 2711, everyone, and as always, I will catch you on the flip side.